Welcome back to the Basement Gun Shop. So, had to take a day off work to get my furnace fixed. So, fortunately, that's done, being winter here in Pennsylvania. Tonight it's supposed to go down into the teens, so it really would have been bad news if the furnace would have been out. So, since that's done, and I'm still off work, what better way to spend the day than making a video for the Basement Gun Shop? So, last Friday, today's Monday, January 12th. Friday, I picked myself up a new toy, which I have right here on the bench in the case. I was actually able to find this case. So this is the FN FNS-40. This is their polymer framed, striker fired 40 Smith & Wesson. Nice little handgun. Fits my hand very well, but let's talk about what comes in the case. Let's move the Glock over here because I have that on the bench for comparison. In the case you get your standard, cable lock, your user manual, a warranty card, and an extra back strap if you choose to change it from the one that comes on it from the factory, and 3 14-round 40 Smith & Wesson magazines. One thing that I found interesting right off the bat when I opened this up is that these magazines are labeled 40 Smith & Wesson -357 SIG. So if you pick up a 357 SIG barrel for this gun and probably a stiffer set of springs, you don't have to buy new magazines. So it comes with 3 of the magazines. Nice hard shell case, with the FNH logo all over the top of it, and 3 magazines. Well, let's talk about the gun itself. First off, we have an underframe rail, Picatinny or 1913 rail right here for mounting an underbarrel light or laser or one of those accessories. It is, like I said, a striker fired gun, so it's click. One thing about this though is it does have an ambidextrous external safety, thumb safety. So if you choose to carry it, you can obviously carry it with the safety off. It has all the internal safeties that a Glock has, and the other striker fired guns like the Smith & Wesson, the M&P series, the M&P Shield series, but it does have that external thumb safety as well. And even though it's pretty small, it's really not much of a stretch for me to put it on or take it off. Takedown on this is very much like the Springfield XD and XDM series. You lock the slide back, rotate the takedown lever, slowly lower the slide into battery, pull the trigger, and everything slides right off. Just like that. To put it back together, you simply put the slide on the rails, lock it back, rotate the lever, and you're good. One thing I didn't realize even when I bought the gun is this gun comes with tritium night sights, the 3-dot tritium night sights on it. So that was an added little feature that I got with the gun, and I didn't really even realize it until I was going to bed Saturday night after I just went to the range real quick to do some shooting with it. And I set it on the nightstand and I saw the glow and I was like, oh my goodness. And then I realized it had tritium night sights on it. So that's pretty much standard. It wasn't anything special. So getting back to the controls, this has a hinged trigger on it, very much like the M&Ps and the M&P Shields versus the split trigger on the Glock or the XDs. So, that's something that if you're into the whole trigger, you need to contend with or get used to. Compared to the Glock, the trigger on it, this is my my Glock 23 and 40 Smith & Wesson. I just pulled it out for comparison. compared to the Glock, there's really not that much difference in the trigger. This feels like it has a bit of a longer take-up, and it feels a little spongier until the trigger breaks. It's not that clean, crisp snap. It just feels a little spongy right up until the time it breaks, and then it stops and breaks. So there's something. The slide lock is also ambidextrous, so this gun is right out of the box completely ambidextrous. Magazine release, slide lock, and thumb external safety. I did a little shooting with it on Sunday, and I'll throw those pictures up. This picture right here is the first 2 rounds at about 30 feet. I was holding 12 o'clock on the X and a man-sized silhouette target, and the second round was at about 45 or 50 feet with the same hold, and they punched right on top of each other. So I was wicked happy about that. I moved back up to 30 feet. I only had 10 rounds in the magazine because it was quite cold out Sunday, and dumped the next 8 rounds as quickly as I could. I believe I put all 8 rounds on target in a little under 4 seconds. So I can't complain about the accuracy out of the box of the gun. So you know, all in all, I'm happy. I believe I paid somewhere around $575 for the gun, so it's comparable priced to the Glocks, the Smith & Wesson M&Ps, and you know, the other polymer frame striker fired handguns that are on the market. The sights are drift adjustable. They're both dovetail, front and rear are dovetail sights. And hold on, Daniel's home from school. What up, kid? So the sights are both front and rear are dovetails, so you need just a sight pusher to adjust them. One thing that I do like about the gun, and I am seriously considering this as my cold weather carry gun, is that wicked big trigger guard right there. You can see that, how large that is. You know, look how much room you have in there if you have gloves on. So that in and of itself is a pretty big thing. By comparison to a Glock 23, it is almost exactly the same length and width. By comparison to the Glock 23, now that we got some light on the subject, this is the Glock right here on my left, and this is the FN. They're almost exactly the same width. They are slide to end of barrel almost exactly. In fact, I believe the Glock is just a tad bit longer, and I mean maybe a third of an inch longer. The Glock 23, 10 round, 11 with one in the chamber. The FN, 15 total with one in the chamber. And something else that I noticed is the bottom of the grip here is flared just slightly to give you that you know, beveled magazine well. But what I have found, or what I have noticed, is that when you put the magazine in the gun, that flare really just cinches this up in my hand. So I'm very happy with the way this fits my hand. It points very nicely for me. As soon as I put it out there, those sights come up right on target for me. The magazine release is easy to get to, even though it's a small button. It's contoured nicely, so you don't have a sharp edge or anything like that. And I must admit, I do like it. I haven't tried to change the back strap on it, simply because I like this back strap just the way it is. It fits my hand very nicely. It does have a longer, for lack of a better term, beaver tail here on the back end to cover your hand, stop you from, you know, getting bit by the slide, than the Glock does, or some of the other polymer frames. So it has this kind of, I don't know, it just looks longer back here. But when all is said and done, this is comparable to anything else. Now, I have not tried to tear this down to the point where I tear down my Glocks, because I will tell you right off the bat, I see a bunch of little pins in there, and I haven't gone that far with it yet, although I'm sure I will in the near future. So that's my thoughts on the FN FNS-40 polymer frame, striker fired, 40 Smith & Wesson that I picked up last Friday at my local shop. If you have any questions or comments about this particular handgun, please feel free, leave them below in the comments, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. So if you like this review, like the channel, subscribe, even better. And until next time, stay safe and keep shooting.